Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a podcast by Practical E-Commerce.
What's going on, Internet? Eric Bandholtz here, founder of Beard Brand, and this is another e-commerce conversation. I am your host, and I've got a very special guest on the other end. This is my friend Mike, Amazon expert, Mike Teku. Is that how you pronounce it?
How you doing? Mike Teku.
Yeah, Mike Teku. I always called it TQ, but I don't think that's the right way.
Don't worry, you're not the only person.
And this is episode number 11. What we're going to be talking about is how to build an e-commerce business on Amazon. And Mike is one of my friends. He's a part-time Austinite and the other part-time Madisonite. Is that what you guys go by?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Why not?
And man, you're just like an amazing entrepreneur.
Well, thanks. You're not so bad yourself.
I try to take after you.
It's a work in progress. I learn a bit more every day, and the more you learn, you look back on what you've done. You're like, oh, that wasn't that great, and you have bigger goals. And every time I get to the top of some mountain peak, I think I'm going to see some valley below, but it's just more mountain peaks to conquer.
Yeah. Well, so why don't you tell our listeners a little bit more about your business and how it's set up and what kind of stuff you're selling on Amazon?
Sure. Specifically on Amazon, we started with like 20 products and we've winnowed it down to 5. Our best-selling thing is the Sky Mat. It's a comfort mat that you'd have for your kitchen or your stand-up desk, and it's been ranked number 1 for a long time, pretty much every keyword, and we feel pretty good about that. So before that, I had an online company that sold photo booths for weddings and, basically franchise opportunities. So have a long history of selling things online. And I'm excited to share what I can teach.
Cool. How long have you been on Amazon?
This is our 5th year.
Okay. So you kind of got in early. One of the things I wanted to talk about is, let's just get right into Amazon. Is it too late to start selling on Amazon?
That depends on who you are. Honestly, I'm not starting any more products. And I don't know that I would have other people start products per se without some level of experience, a complete dedication to it, and a lot of money. I feel like the game has changed quite considerably. 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have told you what my number 1 best-selling product is. But right now, I don't think anyone could beat me. And I don't mean that in any kind of cocky way. I just mean that the system is kind of entrenched. It's hard to go up against someone with 4,000 plus 5-star reviews, a long history of sales, which matters to the algorithm. And it's just a very hard thing to beat. Like, people come and they give the product away and lose $15 a mat, and they still can't do anything about it. So I'm sure there are people out there who could, with a lot of money and a lot of advertising, take our spot. But if that's not you, I would, if you're going to get into it, you're going to want to try to go where all the heavy hitters are not, on a much smaller keyword, much smaller product, less competition, that's just niched way down.
So you got to find the niche. Do you know of any tools you can use to find that, or is it just kind of intuition and entrepreneurial luck? Or
I'm assuming if people are listening to this podcast, they've maybe learned of some of the tools, and like Jungle Scout's a good one, but you just want to like dig really, really, really deep. I probably wouldn't even start on Amazon. I would start looking at like niches on a broader sense, like, you say you want to do camping, or you're really into cycling, something that maybe you have an understanding of, and then go down to where that like level of gear is at, or you're an artist. Like, I have a friend who sells a paint chalk brush. That is super niche, right? Most people had never even heard of that. Like, I think if you're going to be successful now, you're going to find a product that you've never even heard of, or only you've heard of because you're in like, triathlons, and this specific little thing that's going to be work for a very particular kind of person. Now, there's lots of triathletes, right? So there's enough worldwide or nationwide to make a very successful business, but it's not going to be something that ubiquitously everyone would want. So I would start with, if you're a musician, find some product that people are buying that the average person wouldn't have never heard of.
Yeah. So when you say make a nice living, is this going to be like, $50,000 a year of net profit, or is there still opportunities to have a business do seven figures on Amazon, or are all the big spaces taken that you're really just bringing together a whole bunch of niches and small products?
I mean, me personally, if I was going to start something again, I wouldn't start it unless it could be a $1 million product. But I think to start a $1 million product today, you would probably reasonably want to throw $100,000 at it. And that would be buying 6 months of inventory. And that would be basically giving it away at a loss for 6 months or longer. And then being able to reorder again, and then throwing lots of money at traffic and advertising. And then I think you could do that for long enough to stay on page one. And then, anything that's in $1 million industry, you're going to be going up against people that have thousands plus reviews on their thing, and probably more than one. And the only way to beat them would be to just take away all their money by providing something that is, you can't just sell the same thing or the same, a shitty version of that. So I don't know if we're allowed to say that. a crappy version of something. It has to honestly be better than what they're selling, be better marketing, and then you have to outlast them. You have to be willing to lose money for longer than them, and then wait for them to make a mistake. They run out of stock. They get taken down for some offense, which happens all the time. And if you're there and you don't run out of stock over a year and you're beating them on price and quality, you can beat them, but you just have to be that dedicated. The game is very different. 5 years before, you could throw up a product and, prices were higher, and there wasn't a lot of competition. And the people that got there first made little moats with reviews and search rank. So it's just a very different game now.
Yeah. So, it sounds super brutal. Like you're not going to win on value add at all. You're going to win on price. Like that is the strategy to try to get in there and get that market share.
It's all of the above. You got to think of it in the way Amazon would think about it. They want to put the thing at number one that people are going to buy the most. Like they want to come to the site, they're going to search for it, and they're going to click on it and buy it, which means that they searched for it on their keyword and they got the thing that they wanted, and they picked you. And so if you can prove that yours is definitely better and have a higher price, that's great. We do that. Ours is more expensive than the competition, but we have 4,000 plus reviews of social proof to back that up. And it is better, and we have a very low return rate. So that's why that works. But for me to come in right now and do that, we're trying to do that right now. We've launched a second brand, and it's not easy. Like I know what I'm doing, and we've got the money, and we just don't have the social proof to prove that ours is better than the other competition. It will take time. It'll probably take a year, and we'll be able to get that up. But that's the kind of patience you have to have.
Yeah, let's dig into that social proof a little bit more. Like, it sounds like reviews are almost like the currency of a good listing on Amazon. So you've already mentioned it a couple times. You have 4,000 reviews. Like, how do you go about getting legitimate reviews that will bring that social proof to your listing?
Well, it's gotten much, much harder. They've really, really tightened the restrictions on that. It's like there's no way to pay for them now. There's no way to do any of that. They will remove all of those. So it's really just having a great product, and time. So all of our reviews are real, and we've acquired them over 5 years. So the best way to get reviews is to sell a lot of units, right? So it's very hard to acquire reviews if you're selling 5 units a day, right? If you're gonna get like 1 out of 100 people to take the time, even when you ask them. Like, we send out emails, we have inserts asking people, trying to connect with people, and it's like 1 to 2%. And I think that's probably a high conversion rate on getting people to leave reviews. So what you need to do is to sell as many as possible, as quickly as possible, for as long as possible, and then have them be great and provide great experience, so that 2 out of 100 people will leave a review. So if your goal is to get to 500 reviews to have a fighting chance on something, and you can, sell 100 units a day, that's 2 reviews a day, that's 60 a month. You'll be there in 10 months, right? 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of effort, like that's a big commitment, and you have to know that you can essentially be profitable after that too, right? Like, how do you have that confidence that it's $1 million product?
Well, so you can use programs like Jungle Scout and DS QuickView, and they'll tell you what people are selling a day, what their bestseller rank is, and you can kind of gauge, how many units a day is this thing selling. And you got to look at it a number of times, because if you just went and looked at it, in December, be like, this is an amazing product. Well, that's Christmas. It's selling at 5 to 10 times its normal rate. Or, maybe you looked at feather boas and it was in October and you didn't take into account, Halloween. So you need to look at it a couple different times, and then it's a gamble. So I don't want to discourage people from doing it. I just want people to have clear eyes that if you dedicate yourself to it and you bring a lot of money or a lot of hustle, you get a bunch of, so the social proof is reviews is one way. The other way is advertising, right? Or brand building, I should say, which is what you have done. So you are you on Amazon yet?
No. I mean, we were on Amazon through a third-party reseller, but we pulled off at the beginning of the year.
Right, because it's a different game than what you're doing. Like, you have developed social proof by doing lots of videos, building a brand and recognition. And so when people know your name, that means that you've crossed this threshold that, well, you must be good enough for me to have heard of you before, right? Like, people don't stick around and have brands if they're garbage. And that allows you to charge a premium price, and that gets you to people to come to your website or buy them at Target or wherever you're at. When you're on Amazon, people have never heard of you before. And so what are they basing their decisions on? You're just one of many. You're a commodity in a lot of ways. So the only way that you can prove that you're worth the extra price, or you're even worth the same price over somebody else, is reviews. That's like your only outlet for social proof, or slightly better pictures, right? So if you're going to do it now, you really gotta play both games. You've got to build an amazing page with lots of reviews, but you have to do what you're doing and go out there and build a brand, build a following, a market, get people to come to you instead of just people searching for an anti-fatigue mat, and then making the decision. They're going to Amazon wanting to buy yours before they search for it. They're searching your brand name. That's what you have to do.
And I would almost argue, if that's going to be your strategy, you might as well direct them to your own website, right?
Right. Well, I mean, so there's 2 things. If you were right now with Beard Brand, if you had spent the last 3 or 4 years building that brand on Amazon simultaneously, you would also get the $2 million. I don't know. Maybe it's $1 million a month that people are spending on beard oil, but you would have built that brand up there, and you would get the people who are searching beard oil, have never heard of you before. And then they would see that, oh, these guys have a ton of reviews. And then maybe they would do a search best beard oils on Google, and you would be all over the map with your beautiful, beautiful beard. And so you would be getting both the people that are coming for you, and then the zillion of people that are just coming for beard oil. So I think it's still an amazing marketplace. Plus, I think the conversion rate is higher on Amazon than on websites, just because people trust it. They don't have to enter their credit card information. There is the social proof, so they don't have to just depend. It's like a 1-2 punch, I would say.
Yeah. Let's talk about, let's say they are an established brand, right? And they've been selling on their website, but they've never broached into Amazon. Of course, they've got to go that 1 year run rate, but they've got the investment to make it happen. Let's talk a little more about like fulfilled by Amazon, fulfilling it yourself, or even if they have the option of like selling directly to Amazon, or kind of like the different, for lack of better terms, like account levels that Amazon provides to sellers.
Sure. I do everything FBA. I have not found a solution that is simpler and cheaper than having Amazon fulfill everything. They do 2-day shipping, which is incredible, and it doesn't cost you anything extra as a seller. Basically, if you are on Amazon right now and you don't provide Prime shipping, you're not going to be successful at all. The conversion rate is 30 to 40% higher. So that's an absolute must. And you really can't find something cheaper than them.
Can you do Prime shipping through your own fulfillment, or?
Yes, you can. They do have a merchant fulfilled. You have to apply for it, and you have to have like a history. But then then you have to have a warehouse, and you have to have employees to fulfill that, or you have to pay somebody else to do it. So, I just don't think there's a way to really do it that's less expensive than Amazon's doing it, because I think they're losing money at it still. I think they have those prices so competitive because they're doing the long game. And this is really where I got that concept from. Jeff Bezos has always said, your profit margin is my opportunity. His long, and he has a very long game approach. He built this business so he could build rockets. Like, he knew that 20 years ago. He does not care about making profit now because it's going to lead to profit later. His goal is to drive everybody else out of business, be the only town or the only shop in town, and then he'll make profit. So that's what he's doing. He's making sure you have absolutely no other reason. You'd be crazy to do your fulfillment anywhere else. And he's going to keep that until they're all out of business. So it's cutthroat.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I just kind of got to enjoy the ride while you're taking it, right?
For sure, yeah. So, I mean, there's, like he offers basically free shipping to all of his customers. You have over 100 million people on Amazon Prime, which is absurd. That's such a huge email list of people that are indoctrinated into buying from Amazon. They pay to shop there. And that is a really powerful incentive as a huge customer base that I don't care what Walmart.com or Jet or Target, that they won't have that. They don't have that kind of loyalty.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like I've always, because I'm old enough to remember when Microsoft was, the top dog in the software company, and no one could visualize Microsoft not completely owning everything, right? And fast forward 20 years, and I wouldn't say they're no longer relevant, but they certainly don't have the market share that they once had, or really that ownership kind of monopoly. So as a fan of the free market enterprise and capitalism, I always believe that there's something that we don't see, whether it be like Alibaba, whether it be like a shift in consumer habits to, go back to bricks and mortar for whatever reason, or, a new way of delivering, or just 3D printing, or whatever, kind of odd concept. So I think it's kind of interesting to see where retail will play out in the future.
Anybody that tries to pretend to know the future 5 years out is just lying or deluding themselves. We have no idea what's coming around the corner, but that'll be a hard thing to overcome as long as, and I think they're very customer centric. They care about getting people what they want, and as long as they keep doing that, which is something I think Microsoft failed at. So
so someone wants to tackle Amazon, they want to get into it. We talked about the social proof. How else can they differentiate their products? You talked about like good photography, and we've talked about that in previous podcast episodes, but like in branding in general. But is that essentially all you're left with, or are there tools on the platform like video or better descriptions or any particular way to photograph your products?
for sure, I would say your marketing is going to make 15% of the difference. Let's call it that. Just pull that number out. And you can take better photos. That's a subjective thing, right? Everyone thinks they have the best photos. You can do extended brand content, which is the pictures below, right above the reviews, if you know what I'm talking about. You need to have a trademark for your product, which means like you have to apply and get it granted, and it takes about 6 months. And then once you have that, then you can put up a 9 by 12 inch advertisement essentially on your own page. You can also put up a video, which is useful. You can upvote really good reviews with videos on them. That's helpful. But really, I think the biggest lever you can push is coming up with a better product and then communicating that it's a better product. And the way you do that is you go through, you pick your niche, go through the competition and find out where they're failing. Go through all the 3, 2, and 1 star reviews and find the words that keep coming up over and over and over again, and then make something that solves those problems. And then when you do your advertising, make the pictures and you're demonstrating that it's solving that problem. Make all the headline and the quotes that it's solving that problem. The hard thing with Amazon is that people can't touch it, feel it, try it out. So you have to be able to solve a problem that's visual or that you can explain via words that's compelling. For example, I have a pizza stone, which is it's a clay thing that you put in your oven and you warm it up and then you put your frozen pizza on it or your homemade pizza and it cooks the crust better, right? It's a great product. Everybody loves pizza stones, but the main thing people hate about them is that they absorb a bunch of grease from the cheese and they turn black and stained and kind of smell a little bit. Eventually that goes away, but people don't like that. They complain about it all the time. So I made one that was black and had a non-stick ceramic coating on it. It's the only one that's like that. Solves that problem. You can see it in the picture. And, because people are looking, they look at 2 or 3, they read the reviews. Oh, yeah, I don't like those ugly stains. Oh, look, that one doesn't have it. I'll pick that one. Problem solved. So you have to add the value right up front. And then you have to have a product that's so good, people take time out of their busy day to write about your mundane product. Like nobody cares about your product like you do. Like you solve their problem. They don't ever want to talk to you again. Happy day. But to actually take the time to 5 minutes to write a review is a big ask of somebody. And the only way to get that is to really just blow their mind with how good your product is.
Right. So I meant to circle back and we didn't totally touch base on it. Fulfilled by Amazon, you think is a great way. Have you had any experience selling directly to Amazon? So Amazon can essentially be one of your retailers?
I've watched a lot of my competitors do that, who are no longer my competitors because they don't really sell. I wouldn't recommend it just based on watching that. I don't think Amazon's very incentivized to do it well. And it's being run by people that are not entrepreneurs and don't have the fundamental understanding of their own system or people on how to market. So, or to, more importantly, to fight back against competitors and shenanigans and things like that. So if you sell directly to Amazon, like you can't touch your own website. You can't control the price. You can't control the image. You can't control when people send negative reviews and stuff like that. And Amazon is not incentivized. They do not care about your tiny little product that they're selling for you. They just don't. So you'll fall away from rank because other people will be launching and giving specials and changing the photos and adding colors and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's too out of control and they don't care.
Yeah, it's funny you talked about. I picked up on this one word, shenanigans of your competitors. I've heard about like listings getting hijacked, or like I guess black hat or gray hat tactics to try to take down your products. Talk and give out warnings of what to look for anyone currently on Amazon or thinking about getting on Amazon.
Um, well, I mean, like my stuff gets taken down all the time because of nonsense. Someone puts up a fake review that's like a positive fake review, and Amazon will accuse you of putting up positive fake reviews and take your site down. Um, or they'll put up a review saying that this is a hazard or it caused a fire or it's a safety problem, and those trigger algorithms in Amazon to have your listing taken down until you can prove that it's not a safety hazard. That stuff just happens all the time, and it's annoying, and it works, but not for long. I've never seen one of my competitors I've been taken down and now they're successful. Like, it's usually by like B players that are gone in 3 months anyways, and they're just desperate. But there's always desperate people, and so that nonsense is a real thing. And when you're putting in orders for 100,000 units and your listing goes down, and you don't know if you're going to get it back, it's pretty nerve wracking.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big reasons that we're not on Amazon is when we were selling on Amazon in the early days of our business, like the letters or the emails that I got from Amazon specifically were very strongly worded and very accusatory. And we tend to I don't take pressure and I don't give pressure. So it's like I have a choice. For me personally, I just don't want to deal with it. And at that time in our business, I couldn't hire someone else to deal with it. So I was like, screw them. But, it is very nerve wracking to think that Amazon just could, flip a switch and your account's taken down or your product listing's taken down.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a passionate relationship. When it's great, it's amazing. It's the best thing you've ever had. And when it's bad, it's just like, wow, what happened? How did I make you so angry? We have all of our eggs in the Amazon basket. So I don't want to discourage people or tell them it's not good, because if you can make it to the top, it's very hard to be unseated. And you've got 500 people a day saying, who you don't know, just like clockwork, searching for your product and buying it every day. And then it grows 20% a year. Like, there's no reason my product, if it doesn't get taken down for some shenanigan, can't for the next 5 years grow 20% a year and, make millions. And it's I just got to make sure I don't run out of stock. So that's the beautiful part of it. But it's also terrifying that I have over $1 million of inventory, and at any time they could take it down. They haven't, permanently. So I'm going to keep riding the train. But so it's just hard to break in. And if you do, it's worth it. Even if it costs you $100,000, but the prize is worth $1 million a year, would you take that? And, sure. I'd do it.
Yeah. Talk a little more about like the team that you've built to support your business, your infrastructure in terms of, do you have a product designer? Do you have, someone managing the listing? How big's your team?
Sure. I have a business partner, and then we have a one employee, and I think he probably works 20 hours a week. We pay him full time, and he handles answering the 10 or so customer emails a day, and he handles communicating with our factories and getting the product on boats, and then in LA, getting them to different warehouses. So that's basically it. I handle the product design and the listings. Basically everything forward facing, and then my business partner handles all the financial stuff on the back end.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the most amazing things when I compare our business to your business is like you can do this so lean, like it's such a tiny team, whereas Beard Brand we're at 18 employees and grinding on marketing and creating content and all this stuff, whereas it's just 3 of you guys.
Right. And we're all working. Mike and I are working 4 or 5 hours a week. And that's because we're making new stuff. or we're trying to make improvements. We don't have to do that. If we did, and I always talk about this with Mike, like, we could just let this alone and it would probably be fine, and do 4 hours a month. Then it's tough to stop tinkering with things.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being on top, right? You just everyone's that's trying to take your spot, they're not working 4 hours, right? The people who are trying to get your listing or get to that top spot,
it depends on what they're doing. Like there's definitely diminishing returns on your effort and your money. The only thing that they could be doing besides trying to make a better product would be focusing on building a brand and advertising outside of Amazon. And so that's where they would spend their time. Like once you have it up on Amazon and you've done the launch and you've built the listing, there's just not a lot for you to do unless you're just doing busy work. But actual effective work is pretty, there's just, what are you going to do?
Are you guys buying any ads on Amazon or on other platforms?
We do a little bit. But when you're the number one for all the keywords, which is where you want to be, there's no point really in advertising, because an advertisement just puts you one step ahead of that, right? And most people skip those. So you're like paying to be the number one sponsor, and then you're already the number one natural search. So it's sort of redundant in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other the thought process would be you're just kind of blocking out one of your competitors from grabbing that spot and just taking up more real estate.
Yeah. And being rank is incredibly important. Like the difference between being ranked number 3 and number 4 is probably a doubling in sales, and the difference between being ranked number 1 and 4 is probably a 10x in sales. Like it's quite exponential. And they all support each other. So if you start losing sales in a keyword and then you start slipping in that keyword, then you're going to start slipping in other keywords. So like it's either, it's all or nothing in a lot of ways.
Now, is there any kind of like SEO algorithm to this? Like if you could get your product listed on a whole bunch of websites linking back to your website, is that going to help, or is it all very on Amazon?
I mean, I'm sure you've had lots of people speak on this, but nobody knows. And if they do know, I think Jeff Bezos knows, and maybe like a couple of people outside of that. All I can say is from my experience and my peers' experience that the only thing that matters is sales and conversions. So the number of people that searched for you on that keyword, and then the number of people that bought. That's it. Everything else is, a guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess that kind of leaves it open to, like you said, just building a great product, photographing it well, and showing that value add that you can bring. And it's pretty simple, but I think that's a lesson that you could take not just with Amazon selling, but really any business.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's the key to any business is have a better product, let more people know about it, advertise it better, communicate it. Like it's basically the same thing. And I think people want like secret tricks and stuff to like beating the algorithm, but you can manipulate the algorithm. You can, but not for long. Like you can give away hundreds of products a day and you will get up on the first page. You may even get to number 1 for a couple days, but you don't have the reviews to stay, and maybe your product's not that great.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation has been really refreshing to me because, every time I run into someone, it's, oh yeah, we're making, I mean, clearly you're making millions on Amazon and doing a great job, but it's almost like you said, people are selling this dream that it's super easy, where maybe the concept is super easy, but the execution is very difficult. It's always challenging to build a better product than your competitors because they want to build a great product.
Yeah, they're not the other team's trying.
Yeah, and there's definitely like reasons why those sacrifices have been made. So trying to optimize and perfect that has been a challenge and will continue to be a challenge. So if you're looking to get into Amazon, as you said, like be prepared to invest in it and grind at it. And if you do that, like on any other business out there, you're going to see, hopefully you should see success. But of course, that's not guaranteed either.
Yeah, you just have to treat it like a real business. Like you can't just throw something up on Amazon and try a few, manipulations and think it's going to work. You have to like do the Eric Bandholz way and advertise and build a brand, and then you also happen to sell on Amazon. Like I don't think you can successfully have an Amazon only company anymore and plan to stay there. Not a brand new one, anyways.
Yeah, if people want to get a hold of you, or if you want to promote something, or they want to reach out, what would be the best way to find you or learn more or support you?
Yeah, sure. My email, could you put a link to that? Or
yeah, I mean, is that a good way? You like having your email out there?
Yeah, sure. They can just email me if you need anything or you got any questions. I'm probably going to be building a website and for myself, and maybe just start blogging or setting up videos and talking.
Okay,
this is fun.
Yeah. You can just go ahead and share your email for all the
sure.
people.
And then my last name, Techku, TECKU @gmail.com.
Look at that email. Well, this has been an amazing podcast and another e-commerce conversations. Hope you guys learned as much as I did. And you will be endeavoring on Amazon, or maybe you won't be endeavoring on it. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing, I guess. Cheers.
Hey, Eric, I did think of something that people could do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They could go buy my Sky Mat.
Oh, there
it's
you go.
It's great for your kitchen. Yeah.
Sky Mat. So what do they search for on Amazon?
Basically any of the keywords: anti-fatigue mat, comfort mat, Sky Mat. What would be that one?
Yeah. And is that your brand, Sky Mat, or what's your brand?
Yeah,
name?
Sky Mat.
Okay. Well, there you go,
really
guys.
Like it. Everyone does.
Buy a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
All right, guys. Keep on growing.